So today we're doing my lower body hypertrophy program, foundations. Today is going to be more of a posterior chain style. So I'm going to start off with getting in some simple leg extensions and some hamstring curls. Then we're going to move into an RDL. Then we're going to move into an actual deadlift, but a hypertrophy focused deadlift. I'll bring you along for it. Let's go. What I like to do is alternate between these two machines. The way that this machine is set up, it does not give you a particularly large amount of stretch in the front of your quads. Rectus femoris, our teardrop essentially is what we're focusing on here. It hits this way more than when you're squatting. So what I like to do to get that additional stretch is raise up the height. So in this case, I'm going to use some pads that we use typically here in a CrossFit style gym, either for lunges or to put underneath our butts when we're doing butterfly sit-ups. So I'm going to grab some pads. A little bit of method to my madness. There's a slightly more solid pad and then two pads that are a little bit softer. And I do one leg at a time. This machine maxes out about 250 pounds. I found that 250 pounds where I get like the stimulus according to my leg strength, I feel like I can go past it. But also when I'm doing both of those, I end up using a lot of almost my hips to drive at that. So I do like to do one leg at a time so I can stay very focused and train, what they call isolaterally. So we're gonna get our first one in. Gonna be our left leg. When I'm training isolaterally, start with my weaker leg. Weaker arm, weaker body part. We're gonna build up to 145 and we might take an attempt at 160 today as I'm slowly building up. But first, we're gonna get 115 in. And I generally have a rep range of anywhere from 8 to 12. And I'm just kind of feeling things out for the day, know where I'm going to be at. Some days are going to be better than others. There, notice 1, 2, 3 down, complete control, more explosive up, full contraction at the top. We're not gonna hold at the top necessarily. That's not where we're getting the most bang for our buck. Where we're getting our bang for our buck is our control on the way down, and any stretch that we can get across the front of the rectus femoris, our teardrop. Great, filling those out. A little bit sore still from last week. It's Tuesday, but on Friday I destroyed my legs with these new squat sets I'm doing. Very, very controlled, eccentric style. You also notice too, I'm very far set back. You'll get people that are right here. This extra set back does give you more of a stretch across your hip flexors and across the whole of your quad. Anything that you can do to put yourself in an already compromised and stretched position is something that you're gonna focus on. Stretch mediated hypertrophy. Yes, for everybody that watches Renaissance periodization and Mike Israetel, that's kind of like the rage. It's been that kind of like secrets, I guess you could say, in bodybuilding for a while, is getting the stretch. But it is definitely something that's helped me maintain good tissue, good tissue health, and I've seen a lot of strength and mobility gains from it. All right, feeling those out. We'll go up to 145 for our next one. I'm gonna get also, hey, Justin, you're not warming up, you're going right into the exercises. You want to be time efficient? Absolutely. Go right into the exercises. Feel out your first couple sets and go right in. Yes, it would be preferable you have a nice 10 to 15 minute warm-up routine, even stretching routine. That is kind of a topic as well, stretching before strength training. It's definitely something that should be done if it's necessary to get you into the proper positions. But there is quite a bit of evidence showing the stretching can decrease some power output. But that's for everybody to take on their own journey. Ultimately, I'm gonna advocate for whatever makes you feel best and so that whatever is safer. 3 to 4 seconds down, explosive up. There's also something about using this machine where you have to kind of like really focus on sticking your butt out basically so that you get that stretch at the bottom. Because if you don't, you're not really getting a full range of motion. Something that happens with this really solid ass built machine, but it's not necessarily a Cybex or anything like that. All right, a little bit of soreness in my quads. Let's see if it starts clearing up. One thing about the bottom position, it is the hardest spot, but once I have that amount of tension built up and I get to the bottom with it, I'm fine. So what I actually will do is I will assist myself with the other leg on the first part up to not overexert that first, position, and make sure that I'm basically resisting it in the bottom position, and I'm able to, like, I don't want to call it a stretch reflex, but just in a flex powerful position, not starting from a stop. So I'll let myself up a little bit, and then we're in business.
That weight I gave you guys, starting weight for step number 1. Close grip, hands aligned to the shoulder, elbows stay in. 2 to 5 sets. But start increasing the stretch, and your elbows start going out.
Yep, they are roasty toasty. Let's see if we warm up though. I don't know if 160s are the cards for today. Sissy squat combo with those high bar squats messed me up. Did bump up the weight 10 pounds last week, so we're still kind of working on getting into the higher rep ranges here, getting over 10. 8.5 is kind of where we're at right now. Partials are okay. Don't hike your butt up. Don't kip, I guess. Go ahead and just get it to the spot where you can keep pushing it through. All right, gonna get nasty. Whew. 8th was nasty. Last set we'll probably go down, do a little bit of a drop set, even help myself out a little bit if I need to, just to finish off a bit. One big thing I learned with bodybuilding, strength training in general, especially if you're looking at
day-to-day feeling. Yes, you want target rep ranges, but doing a little bit of variation each time. Definitely encouraged. As long as you're doing the base of the exercise, increasing reps or increasing weight. We're actually going to listen to some tunes, keep ourselves in the game. Mirrors Fit for an Autopsy. Love this song. Come on now. Come on, let's match. Let's go. Right leg definitely stronger. Want to match still though. All right, this is where we feel definitely some fatigue. So I got a little bit of ammo left for my deadlifts. This is where I'm going to make some adjustments here. Probably going to have my RDL be my strength for the day. Take a couple warm-up sets into it and load up a bit, focus on that stretch. If I can't exert a lot of energy, I'm going to focus on activation. All right, failure. So failure last time was about 10 reps. So let you know where we're at, but it's all right. We're gonna keep working. Stick to the match. Whew. All right, so warm up our RDLs. Now the hamstrings are pretty warm. What I want to focus on is getting our proper positions. So RDL here. It's going to be different debates on whether we're in internal or external torque. For the most part, it's more neutral. Toes pointing straight ahead. And we're going to hinge our hips back until our butt can no longer go farther back without our lumbar spine curving forward. You're gonna feel a huge stretch in the glutes and behind the knees. We're gonna get warmed up here. And what you notice, so for me, this is my end range of motion. And it might get better, but if I move past my end range of motion, between me going here, you can see, I can feel it myself that my lumbar spine begin to fold over. Now, deadlifts, we're naturally going to work on our spinal erectors and our lumbar, but that's not the main move. We really want to get that involved. We want it more as a stabilizer. Everything else we want into our posterior chain, our glutes, hamstrings. We're just feeling it out, feeling where we're out for the day. Now there is a more stiff-legged variety that you can do, keeping a little bit more locked out in the knees. Bigger hinge, probably a smaller range of motion. Might be a little hard to see right now, but my knees are mostly straight. Today, just because we're going to avoid the actual deadlift, I am going to bend my knees a little bit more, a little more leg drive that way. A little more power, a little more strength. All right, time for some weight. We're gonna put our belt on. I like to use these thicker powerlifting belts. Had it for a long time, works well for me. Some people want a little more feedback. Really don't care. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I thought we earned a belt loop, guys. I do like to use straps for these just so I can only worry about what's going on in my hips and my glutes, hamstrings, instead of be too worried about what's going on with my arms and my lats. Well, my hands so much. Deadlift grip.
You're not sure, just grab Gabby. She's going to double check it when you start your intervals, just to make sure, okay? So, we're going to teach you how to row. And right now, we're going to do a cycle for 2 weeks. So they test the a rather long
Vin's doing his muscle ups in the back. But I'm filling things out, so that 225 felt pretty good. I'm gonna go up to 255 for some working sets, and then honestly, I think I'm gonna call it. It's getting close to 7 o'clock. Want to get to bed early enough because there's some work I want to do in the morning. Work, get everything done, and then catch my flight. Probably leave at about 8 o'clock.